Despite the United States spending $886 billion on defense, a significant amount of obsolete equipment continues to be used. In some cases, this is because the equipment in question has proven to be highly effective, and there are no alternative solutions that can match its performance. In other cases, attempts to replace equipment. Such efforts have often failed, typically due to complexity or cost-related factors. We identified 10 of the oldest examples still in service, including the U-2S Dragon Lady and C-5 Galaxy transport aircraft. Despite their age, ongoing improvements have ensured their continued importance in defense strategies. 10th place, E-6B Mercury. The E-6B Mercury is the United States Navy's Aerial Command and Information Relay Center. Essentially, it connects the President and the Pentagon to the U.S. Navy's nuclear assets. The design is based on Boeing's famous commercial B-707 jet airliner, but with more than a few alterations and upgrades provided by the engineers at Northrop Grumman. Among these are two trailing antennas that transmit ultra-low frequency signals that can reach deployed nuclear submarines. This ability to relay nuclear launch and strike orders makes it a key part of the last line of defense in case of a full-blown nuclear war. The crew of 22 have 4 main missions. Only one of these is to manage the launch and control of intercontinental ballistic missiles. The second mission focuses on testing and maintaining communication abilities. This is achieved by performing launch simulation exercises that involve every step of the nuclear launch sequence, as well as day-to-day testing of radio and communications equipment. The third is to manage the information that is sent to and then transmitted from the deployed E-6 Mercury. Finally, a team on board is tasked with planning and managing targeting. The need for a survivable and capable airborne command post is still as strong as ever. In 2022, Northrop Grumman was contracted to perform maintenance and upgrades to the entire E-6 Mercury fleet to the tune of $111 million. It is safe to assume that the E-6 will be commanding from the skies for many more deployments in the future. 9th place, A-18A Hornet. The A-18 Hornet is a versatile fighter jet platform capable of being deployed in a variety of capacities in all weather conditions. Originally developed by the defunct McDonnell Douglas Company in the 1970s, it was debuted by the United States Marine Corps in 1983 and entered service with the United States Navy the next year. The full array of the A-18 Hornet's capabilities was put on display during Operation Desert Storm at the beginning of the 1990s. During this intense deployment, the fearsome Hornet was required to fulfill bombing missions while, at the same time, shooting down enemy aircrafts. This multi-role capability clearly made quite the impression on the U.S. military's top brass as they proceeded to acquire ever more F-A-18s with more upgrades and mission-specific modifications. The demand for the F-A-18's multi-role high-performance prowess has not slowed down despite the development of the next generation of multi-capability fighter jets. The USMC retains the F-A-18 in a number of its latest iterations, which now bear the designation Super Hornet. The Block II version currently serves aboard USN aircraft carriers and has built a fearsome reputation as a strike fighter and is considered the backbone of the carrier air wing. 8th place, F-16 Fighting Falcon. The F-16 fighter jet was born in the early 1970s, thanks to the efforts of a coalition of engineers and defense experts known as the Lightweight Fighter Mafia. This group planned to build the F-16 as an alternative to fighter jets that were becoming bulkier and less agile. To achieve this, they worked to incorporate proven systems from other mission-proven aircrafts, such as the F-15 and F-111. The Fighting Falcon entered service in 1979 to provide the USAF with a versatile air warfare tool. The aircraft's excellent maneuverability makes it a highly competent air-to-air combatant, while its exceptional range of over 500 miles enables it to launch strikes deep into enemy territory, significantly beyond the reach of the base of operations. These qualities made it perfect for deployment with the USAF during Operation Desert Storm in the early 1990s, where it flew more sorties than any other aircraft. On these missions, it was used to strike ground targets, and in Operation Allied Force in the late 1990s, it was deployed against enemy air assets with outstanding results. With over 1,000 units still in active service for the USAF, the fierce Falcon remains a crucial part of today's Air Force fleet. In fact, Lockheed Martin is not done with the F-16 program yet. In 2024, the company began the Block 7072 upgrade rollout. This latest upgrade provides pilots with more advanced battle-focused avionics and allows greater weapons integration. Lockheed Martin is confident that the F-16 Fighting Falcon will remain in service beyond 2060. 7th place, E-3 Sentry. The E-3 Sentry was conceived in the mid-1970s with a view to producing an aircraft that can provide surveillance, target detection, and battlefield management. This is termed an Airborne Warning and Control System, or AWACS. To accomplish this goal, Boeing used a 707 commercial airline body and applied a plethora of modifications, the most striking of which is the 30-foot radar dome that is carried atop the fuselage. The radar, along with a complex system of data collection and processing, provides detailed information to battlefield commanders. Upon deployment in Operation Desert Storm in the early 1990s, the E-3 Sentry was further utilized as a battle command center, directing ground and air assets while maintaining a clear picture of the battlefield. Today, the USAF maintains a fleet of 32 Sentry aircraft that are deployed to provide airborne early warning and control capabilities of both the national and NATO defense strategies. They are routinely deployed on peacekeeping missions worldwide in enforcement against the no-fly zone and surveillance missions, including communication support for both strategic operations and humanitarian missions. The USAF and its partners initiated a series of modernization efforts to increase the operational life and capabilities of the Sentry with equipment for new electronic warfare, advanced radar systems, and better communication links. In 2023, however, the USAF stopped the project and redirected funding toward building the new E-7A, 2 prototypes of which should be ready for testing by 2027. 6th place, C-5M Super Galaxy. The C-5M Super Galaxy is a strategic transport aircraft developed by Lockheed Martin and is the current most advanced model of the classic C-5 Galaxy that began operation in the late 1960s. This behemoth of the skies is designed to airlift oversized loads and provide humanitarian aid around the globe. The C-5M Super Galaxy upgrades include modernized engines and avionics with dramatic improvements in performance and efficiency over previous models. From the beginning, the C-5 Galaxy has always been a workhorse for the U.S. military, participating in every major conflict and humanitarian mission since the Vietnam War. The C-5 Galaxy class can carry enormous payloads of tanks, helicopters, and sophisticated equipment, providing the maximum possible pace of strategic airlift. The C-5M Super Galaxy continues to serve as one of the pillars of the U.S. Air Mobility Command. Its cargo capacity is unmatched by other aircrafts, allowing it to carry out unique missions like transporting large military equipment and other oversized supplies. The reliability enhancement and re-engining program will keep the C-5M maintained and up to date, helping to support the strategic airlift capability of the USAF well into the 21st century. These plans include incremental upgrades in technology like new cockpit controls and displays that ensure interoperability with both modern and future air transport infrastructure. 5th place, F-5FN Tiger II. The F-5FN Tiger II was built by Northrop Grumman in the early 1960s. The Tiger II served in air-to-air combat training and tactical reconnaissance. It was cost-effective, built in both the F and N versions. Although it was devised during the Cold War, its simplicity, ease of maintenance, and effective design have guaranteed its continued use to this day, from aggressor training to support roles in the U.S. military. Intended initially for the military assistance program, the F-5 quickly proved its excellent performance in combat, reconnaissance, and ground attack missions. Its capabilities were demonstrated in combat with its debut in the Vietnam War, where it served with distinction in the hands of both U.S. and South Vietnamese pilots. Over the years, the F-5 has equipped the air forces of more than 30 countries, serving roles from air defense to aggressor training, where the performance of the F-5 was just what the doctor ordered to stand in for potential adversaries' aircraft. Programs such as the avionics reconfiguration and tactical enhancement modernization for inventory standardization continue to upgrade the F-5FN fleet to improve aircraft effectiveness. These include avionic updates, radar systems, and communication capabilities, ultimately ensuring the relevance of aircraft to near-peer threat emulations. If realistic and cost-effective adversary training is needed, then the F-5FN Tiger II will likely continue playing an important role in preparing U.S. pilots for years to come. Fourth place, T-38A Talon. The T-38A Talon is a twin-engine, high-speed supersonic jet trainer used by the USAF. Since the early 60s, the T-38 served as the primary advanced trainer for pilot candidates transitioning to high-performance military aircraft. Its speed, agility, and reliability made it an invaluable training tool for generations of pilots in preparing for the rigors of supersonic flight. The C variant got major avionics and systems upgrades to the original A model to increase training capability and safety. When the T-38A Talon entered service in 1961, it revolutionized pilot training by giving trainees real experience with the high speeds and delicate handling of fighter jets. It soon became the primary training aircraft of the U.S. Air Force, preparing pilots for flying serious combat jets like the F-15E Strike Eagle, F-15C Eagle, F-16 Fighting Falcon, B-1B Lancer, A-10 Thunderbolt, and F-22 Raptor. The T-38 also plays an adversary role during training missions, simulating an enemy aircraft during exercises conducted at home bases to provide realistic air combat training for active duty pilots. The Air Force launched the T-X program to replace the T-38 with the Boeing Saab T-7A Red Hawk. The T-38AC, however, will stay on to bridge the gap until the T-7A platform is fully operational. In the meantime, the T-38C will continue to receive upgrades to its avionics, safety improvements, and maintenance overhauls to ensure it remains a capable and effective training platform. Third place, KC-135R Stratotanker. Just as important as the bombers and fighters are the tankers that extend their reach. Built by Boeing, the KC-135R Stratotanker was originally designed to be a commercial jetliner. Later, it became an aerial refueling tanker with cargo capabilities, extending to fighters, bombers, and other aircraft. The revolution in air combat range, with the ability to refuel them in flight wherever they operated across the world. Over the years since the 1950s, the KC-135 has played a key role in many military operations during the Vietnam War, Operation Desert Storm, and the subsequent conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. It conducted comprehensive air patrols and long-term support for combat operations. Though some might see this aircraft as just a flying gas station, its strategic value is hard to ignore. The ability to refuel planes mid-air is crucial for maintaining control over a region's airspace. For many years, the Stratotanker has given the American military this advantage. The USAF continually upgrades the KC-135 fleet to update the aircraft with new avionics, communication, and navigation systems. These improvements will keep the KC-135 viable for the USAF well into the 2040s. While newer tankers like the KC-46A Pegasus are finding their way into the force, the proven reliability of the KC-135RT ensures that it will remain the backbone of U.S. refueling operations. Second place, U-2S Dragon Lady. The U-2S Dragon Lady is an iconic high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft operated by the USAF. The U-2, built in the 1950s by Lockheed's Skunk Works division, has been an eye in the sky for national security missions at altitudes above 70,000 feet for more than 60 years. The U-2S variant of the U-2, with avionics, engines, and a host of other improved sensors, is regarded as the most potent series ever made for surveillance and reconnaissance. Originally designed for Cold War-era overflights of the Soviet Union, Cuba, and other hostile territories, the U-2 collected high-resolution imagery and signals intelligence in hard-to-reach areas. This made it an invaluable asset for global monitoring and treaty verification during some of the most turbulent political situations of the 20th century. The aircraft has served in various conflicts, supporting operations in the Balkans, the Middle East, and Afghanistan, and providing real-time intelligence to the troops on the ground. Despite discussions of its retirement in favor of unmanned platforms like the RQ-4 Global Hawk, continuous upgrades have been poured into its avionics, sensors, and communication systems. The Air Force has sunk money into modernizing the cockpit with a new avionics suite to improve pilot safety and mission effectiveness. Potential plans have also been to further boost its intelligence gathering capability by incorporating ASARS-2 imaging radar and increasing its role in network-centric warfare. First place, B-52H Stratofortress. The B-52H Stratofortress, or BUF, is an American military aircraft that has lasted a long time. Boeing made the B-52 bomber in the 1950s to take atomic bombs to the Soviet Union during the Cold War. The B-52 has changed over time. It started as a strategic deterrent but now does many other things, like bombing and supporting ground troops. It can carry up to 20 air-launched cruise missiles, making it versatile and capable. From 1965, B-52Ds and Fs flew from Guam, Okinawa, and Thailand to bomb North and South Vietnam. The B-52G could also target North Vietnam. It had a larger fuel capacity and could launch missiles. Today, the B-52H is still used by the USAF. It has been updated many times and can be used in many different ways. The future of the B-52H is just as exciting as its past. In September 2021, the USAF gave Rolls-Royce a $2.6 billion contract to replace the TF-33 with 608 new F-130 engines. This is part of a plan to keep the B-52 in use until the 2040s. Upgrading the engines and avionics and adding new weapons shows the USAF wants to keep the B-52H Stratofortress in use until at least the 2040s. I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for the continuation of such videos. Don't forget to turn on notifications for new content. You can share your opinions with us in the comments. See you in our next video.